Hey everybody, how are you? This is Freddie Ewan. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a great afternoon getting ready for the start of the weekend, the first weekend of NFL football. And we had a game last night. Once again, this is the two-time GM of the year, the current Pantheon Cup champion, host of the TPFFKAL show. Very exciting game last night. We had our first game. We're going to talk a little bit about that, the fantasy fallout from that. We're going to talk about a little bit injuries today. I'm also going to pick my winners for this week at the TPFKKAL. The games who I am going to pick for this week. Hopefully, we're going to get James on sometime in the weekend for a start and sit. Going to get Rich on Monday, working on a sports show actually, which is going to be on the TPFFKL show, but it's also going to have working on that with hopefully get Doug and Danny on a sports betting show. Still want to get Bowser on, and I think Bowser would actually be a great one for DFS. You know, the funny thing is, Bowser is, I really like talking fantasy football with Bowser a lot. I think we see eye to eye in a lot of ways that we approach fantasy football. Smart guy, definitely knows his stuff. Uses a good approach when he puts players in drafting. I think he had a very good draft too. And would love to get him on the show. And he's also pretty knowledgeable when it comes to DraftKings and DFS and stuff like that. I know we have a lot of guys on the TPFFKAL that don't really play a lot of DraftKings or anything like that. I love DraftKings in daily fantasy sports. I think it's a lot of fun to play in those tournaments, and really gives you a chance to win for the week instead of the year too. So anyway, want to talk about the game a little bit last night. Travis Kelce was out, so it was obviously going to have an impact on the Kansas City Chiefs, and it did. Just to go over a couple of the numbers is Mahomes 21 for 39, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The pick was not really his fault. He didn't get sacked at all. I thought for the most part that Mahomes played a great game. Receptions wise, all over the place. There was, Pacheco had the most receptions. He had 4 receptions. And, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different guys caught passes. So they were putting guys in and guys out. My boy, Sky Moore, I have in a bunch of leagues. He was targeted only 3 times. Nothing. He had 1 4-yard rush. The guy Rashee Rice, who I had on the bench, actually had the most targets. Him and Tony with Rice had 3 receptions, 29 yards. Van Scouting had a 34-yard catch, but there was really no one out there that really stood out, and that might be the way it goes with Kansas City this year in their receiving. It might just be Travis Kelce, and they put guys in left and right. I mean, and the same thing with the running backs. I mean, you look at the running backs here. Pacheco had 8 carries. Hilaire, I mean, who would have thought that Hilaire would get in there, and he got in there at the beginning. He didn't run the ball too well. 6 carries for 22 yards, 3.7 yards in average, but he ran the ball better than Pacheco. Pacheco only averaged 2.9 yards a carry. I think the Kansas City running game, and let me just look at McKinnon, 1 catch for 10 yards. McKinnon didn't run the ball well, but I think Kansas City might kind of use that 3-head back. I don't think I was not big on Pacheco at the beginning of the year. I was more big on McKinnon, but they're giving Hilaire another chance here. Mahomes is going to be just fine. Mahomes is going to throw touchdown passes. He's got probably the highest floor of any of the quarterbacks. And he'll be fine. I mean, he put up a decent game. 2 touchdowns in this league is fine. 22 points. So on the other side, Jared Goff, 22 for 35, 253 yards, 1 touchdown. There was some impressive guys though last night. I was first of all, I was impressed with Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 receptions, 71 yards, and a touchdown, 9 targets. The other guy who I liked a lot, who looks like he's going to be the number 2 there, is Josh Reynolds, 4 receptions, 80 yards, 7 targets. Goff really, Marvin Jones had 6 targets, but only caught 2 balls. The other guy that I really liked, Sam Porta, caught all 5 of his targets for 39 yards. Sam Laporta is a rookie. He's just going to get better and better. Bowser put him in last night. It was a it was good. It was a good play. On the other side, that the rushing, Montgomery ran the ball 21 times, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Didn't have any catches. Montgomery ran the ball hard. But let me just tell you about this guy, Jamar Gibbs. Jamar Gibbs only carried the ball 7 times. He had 42 yards, six yard average. Also got in the bag, was targeted twice, 218 yards. Gibbs is going to be good. Gibbs is going to be good. I think Montgomery is still going to get a lot of those goal line works, but I think as the season progresses, you're going to see Gibbs getting a lot of that football, running out of the backfield a lot. He's going to get a lot of the throws out of the backfield from Goff. I really like Gibbs. I really like Laporta. I really like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think this Detroit Lions offense is going to do something. And if you got some of those players on your team, I think you're going to be in really good shape. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to go over to the TPFFKAL. I got Brian texting me right now. I was trying to get Brian on the show, but he didn't want to go for it for some reason. Brian's all worried right now because Christian Watson, that's out. He's peeing his pants or something. He's like, Watson's out. I've been trying to trade him all day long, but he thinks, I don't know. I guess he thinks he can start 7 quarterbacks in this league or something. I'll be on vacation weeks 10 and 11 in Belize too, so the show will not be on during those weeks, just to let everyone know. So let's go over the matchups this week. The matchups. Week 1 matchups. Let's go over Shake and Bake and the Donkey Dicks. Donkey Dicks right now, favored to win 108-96. Bowser already got his boy in. He had a bunch of guys play last night. Mahomes, Tony only gave him half a point. Laporta did all right, give him 6.4 points. Who's he got going? DJ Moore, DBA Samuel, Brees Hall, Jamal Williams. I like Jamal Williams. I think it's going to be an uphill battle for him. I think it's not going to be easy for Shake and Bake to get it on against the Donkey Dicks. We will see what happens, though. That should be exciting. Battle of Centerville, we have Donks for Life. Joe Moo going up against the Virginia Sea Dogs. Donks for Life. Had Pacheco over there, 7.4 points. Good that he had McKinnon on the bench. Pierce, I think, is in a tough battle against Baltimore this weekend. It's going to be interesting. It really depends on how Watson and Cooper do for Joe Moo. Going up against my man, the Virginia Sea Dogs. Virginia Sea Dogs favored to score 110 points. They got Watson on the bench. Watson's out, but McCaffrey, Eckler, Trevor Lawrence has a pretty easy matchup against the Colts. Diggs is in a tough matchup against the Jets, but I think it's going to be I do think that the Sea Dogs are going to pull that one out. Next one, Chicken of the Cave, San Patricia Rock Throwers. Rock Throwers, tough one last night with Sky Moore. Sky Moore, 0.4 points. I know how it feels, Neil, out in a bunch of games. Cooper Kupp is going to be out this weekend. Going to have to rely on Chubb and going to have to rely on Fields for a lot of the work. Fields, I think, is going to do just fine. He's going to run the ball a lot. Hawkinson has a pretty good matchup against Tampa Bay. Really going to depend on Nick Chubb. Chicken of the Cave, on the other hand, favored to score 110 points. Adam Thielen's questionable. Derrick Henry at New Orleans. Josh Jacobs. I got to give this one to Chicken of the Cave. He's got a good lineup in there. I think he's got a good shot to win the game. Going up against, let's see, semi-automatic from Justin DeKels. I just feel bad for Devender, his first game in the league, and he's got to play James, who's got, Herbert, Ridley, Jefferson, Allen, Pollard, Robinson, Schultz, Harris starting. Gonna be hard to beat those guys. Maybe if Devender gets a halfback off, he might have a shot to hang in there, but I just don't see it happening. Red Sharks, Burst, Zach, and Ninjas TVV. Both of these guys had some players in the game last night. Zach got a great game from Amon St. Brown, and Rich got a great game from Montgomery. Metcalf, A.J. Brown, Josh Allen going up against the Jets. It's going to be a tough one. I don't think Richardson is going to have a great first game. Something tells me against Jacksonville. I'm taking Indigenous FT. Team of Destiny versus the Gronk Donks. So, Gronk Donks have Lamar Jackson in a good matchup against Houston. I think Mike Williams is going to score a lot. or have an opportunity. I think Barkley will do just fine in Dallas. I know Stevenson's going to have a tough time with that Philadelphia D. TOD's got Garrett Wilson. He's going to have a tough time against Buffalo. I think Adams will do fairly well against Denver. I do really like Dotson this week. I do really like Cook this week. Dotson's up against Arizona. Cook is up against the Jets. Waller is now questionable. I think if Waller plays, TOD's got a good shot. If Waller doesn't play, it should be a runaway from the Gronk Donks. Anyway, once again, my name is Freddie Ewan, two-time GM of the Year, host of the TPFFKAL show, and current Pantheon Cup champion. Everyone have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on this weekend, too. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day. Bye-bye.